interesting novel. Jesus, apparently popular right now. I don't know how I feel about this. Should it be in front of the ear? Should it be behind? I don't know. We'll play it by ear. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie. If you're new here, I hope your day is going well, and it's been a while since I've done a sit-down video that hasn't been super rushed, so I'm kind of excited to be here. I haven't really wanted to film in a while like this. I've been really liking vlogging, and I'm still liking vlogging, and I hope I will continue to vlog, but today we are going to do my June wrap-up, and that requires a sit-down video because I don't know, that's what we want to do today. If you're new here and don't know what a wrap-up is, we're gonna go ahead and get into the books that I read in June. So, some stats for you guys. I read a total of 14 books in the month of June. Actually, I finished one on the very last day, which I'm really excited about. I read a total of 6 graphic novels, 4 YA books, and 4 adult books. And I had a pretty good reading month. I had a lot of 4.5 out of 5-star reads, and I had one really, really great one. So I'm gonna go ahead and dive in. So for the graphic novels that I read in June, I'm not going to be going into too much depth because I feel like it takes way too much time to go through all of them. So I'm going to just go ahead and pop up a picture, give you a 1-sentence thing about it, and move on. The first one that I read is Brody's Ghost. This is about Brody who can see a ghost, and I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I read The Backstagers Volume 2. This is about a tech crew at a prep academy. They are gay. It is cute. 5 out of 5 stars. Highly recommend. Read The Woods Volumes 2 through 4. This is about an entire school, the building, and everyone inside it being transported to another planet, an entirely different universe, and everyone having to survive the very scary situation that they are in. I gave, I think, all of these 4 out of 5 stars. I do really enjoy the artwork. I'm really enjoying where this series is going, but I would say it's not blowing my mind as much as I expected. I read Descender Volumes 4 through 5, and I love this series, guys. This is about a little boy robot who just wants to find his family in this crazy sci-fi world. The artwork is absolutely gorgeous. It's watercolor. It's beautiful. These installments were amazing, and I'm really glad to have caught up with the series. I also read Goldie Vance Volume 2, and it was also super cute. This is about Goldie, who is a hotel valet but is also a detective, and it is also gay, also cute. Love it. I gave Descender and Goldie Vance 5 out of 5 stars. I really, really do like those series. I highly recommend them. Moving on to the YA books that I read last month, I will start off with Sadie by Courtney Summers. This is a very interesting thriller. It has 2 narration point of views. One narration is actually a podcast script. Journalist running the podcast is researching what happened to the disappearance of this girl, and the other narration point of view is of the girl who is trying to hunt down the killer of her younger sister. Very interesting novel. I highly recommend it if you like thrillers. I did end up giving it 3 out of 5 stars because I wasn't satisfied with the ending. I did enjoy it. It was a fun ride. I think if you like thrillers more than I do, you probably would enjoy this more. I forgot that I actually had 2 really, really amazing books this month, and I feel a little bit bad. But the first amazing book of the month, and that is Lifelike by Jay Kristoff. Who is shocked? No one, I'm sure. This, as Jay Kristoff has said, is basically like Mad Max plus Romeo and Juliet plus X-Men plus Blade Runner. And he was not wrong. This is definitely all of those things. This is about... I forgot her name. This is about Eve, who lives in a post-apocalyptic world. She is a dome fighter, and just in general, if you just think of Mad Max, X-Men, and Romeo and Juliet, just all of that is this. It was amazing. 5 out of 5 stars. I had some moments where I felt disconnected with the characters though, and then at the end of the book I just realized I should never doubt my favorite author. It's just a bad idea. He proved me so wrong. It's so good. I highly recommend it. The next YA book that we're going to talk about was also my other favorite book of the month, is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. This is about a town where 200 years ago 3 sisters were convicted of witchcraft and they were killed, and now they come back every summer and kill boys from the town. And it's about a girl who has lived in the town all her life, and she meets a boy during the summer and things get spooky. I loved loved this book. It was so atmospheric, it was so witchy, it was so spooky. It was absolutely perfect, for me at least, for a witchy spooky book. I highly recommend it if you're looking for anything like that. 5 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it so thoroughly. It's definitely not like really difficult writing or anything like that to get through, but I really think that it just hit all my bullet points for a witchy book and I loved it. I just hit myself in the face. And the last teen book of the month that I read was Undead Girl Gang by somebody. This is about Mila Flores. She is a teenage witch and she is very upset because her best friend just died. And her best friend died in a weird circumstance where she supposedly, from what people are telling Mila, it died in a suicide pact with the most popular girls in her school, and Mila's like, no, that's wrong, she was murdered. So Mila decides to take things into her own hands by raising her best friend from the dead, but she accidentally brings back the other 2 girls that died that same night, and together they have to figure out what exactly happened. So much fun to read. I did give this 4 out of 5, 4.5, 4 out of 5 stars. There were some things that I felt were super predictable in this book, but I really, really enjoyed it. Mila is such a fantastic main character. She's Latinx, plus size, and just overall a badass, and I really, really, really enjoyed her voice in this novel. I highly recommend this book. If you're wanting some like Mean Girls, plus zombies, plus Wicca, spookiness, it's just, you know, I'm ready for fall, apparently. We just started summer, I swear, and I'm already ready for some pumpkin spice lattes and some scarves. So that's where we're at right now. And the first adult book that I read in the month of June was Mr. Tender's Girl by Carter Wilson. This book was actually inspired by the Slenderman phenomenon, and it is about a girl that was attacked when she's 15 by other girls her age who are obsessed with this graphic novel character called Mr. Tender. And Mr. Tender is really special to the girl that was attacked because her father was the actual writer of those graphic novels. The book takes place about 10 years after those events, and Mr. Tender has found the main character again, and things are about to get fucking weird. And I thoroughly enjoyed this, actually. I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. There were some things that I felt like, just as a thriller aspect, there wasn't any reason for a main character to do stupid things in this situation, especially because the main character has been living with paranoia for her entire life. But it was really enjoyable. I really liked the kind of reminiscent of the Slenderman craze because that shit scared the shit out of me, and I like reading things kind of inspired by it, and I really think that this book did a good job. Moving on, I read High Risk by Simona Arnstedt. This is actually a romance novel that's pretty long. It takes place in Sweden, and our main characters are a journalist who is overworked and a special ops officer who is lovelorn, and they meet around Christmas Eve and some stuff goes down. I can tell you some of it is smutty, and it was lots of fun, and I recommend it if you're looking for a new smutty read because I really enjoyed this one. It was really good. And the next adult novel that I read in the month of June was The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodora Goss. This is so enjoyable, guys. If you like the show Penny Dreadful, I highly recommend this. This is about Mary Jekyll, and her mother dies right before the book starts, and she is going to be destitute. So she lets go of a lot of her staff. And then the bank tells her, hey, your mom had an account that was paying for this person at this place, and that's super vague. But I don't really want to give you any more details to the story because I think you just have to go into it. I really liked how this was told. There's actually clips of dialogue from people reading the manuscript. It's just really interesting. I highly recommend it. I've just been reading a lot of kind of spookier books lately, and this was really good. Didn't disappoint. 4.5 out of 5 stars because I did find some of the prose was a little bit heavy, but I really, really enjoyed this one. Highly recommend it. You should read it. And the last book that I read in the month of June was Torn by Rowena Miller. This was actually another favorite of mine. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. This is about Sophie. She's a seamstress who actually sews good luck charms or love charms into the clothes that she makes for the nobility in her world. Her city, though, is controlled heavily by the nobility, and there's a lot of bureaucracy going into how the working class can live their lives. There is a revolution being started by Sophie's brother, and she gets kind of entangled into this mess, and I thoroughly enjoyed the way this was written. The best part about this book is the political struggles, and I can tell you right now, if you don't really like political struggles in books, you might still like this, because this was one of those books that really did a good job of making the political struggle interesting. I really liked following Sophie as well. I found that she was a fantastically interesting main character. She's 25, which is really interesting to see in books like these. I feel like that's not an age I see as often, especially since now I'm kind of looking for it because I'm going to be 25 next year. And I just feel like it was really nice to see someone who's so ambitious like Sophie taking on challenges, because she's neutral in a sense, but she'll do anything to protect her family. And I really did enjoy that. So those were the books that I read in June. Alright guys, let me know what you read in the month of June. I'm gonna go, like, subscribe, all the good stuff. Bye!